Hello, and welcome to a brief history of the Wasteland. I'm your host, Ranger Torch, and today we will be going over a brief history of the world of revelations in the world we now live in. Since history is written by the victor, and there are no more victors to be found out in the wastes, someone must write it all down in a convenient book about woodworking. Let's begin. This brief holotape will delve into the storied history of the new Ballahack Republic's Rangers, as well as other notable figures of the Wasteland, and the events that have unfolded thus far. No one really knows how the war started. All we know is that it consumed the world in nuclear fire, and very few people survived. There is next to no knowledge of the first revelation, but the second would begin Noble's military career, with the tribe referred to as the Legion. After 100 years of chaos, the Wasteland divided into three main tribes, the Smokers, Phalanx, and the Legion. Sadly, the Smokers and Phalanx teamed up and defeated the Legion before going to war with each other. Luckily, Noble managed to escape the carnage and continue his pursuit of the ever-elusive post-apocalyptic dream. The old legend that war never changes soon proved true between the Smokers and Phalanx.
La Guerra de los Yacares.
As their war escalated, they happened upon ancient nuclear launch codes, and the world was brought to another dark age. As the nuclear winter approached, the men of Jolly Roger Airsoft ventured into the Ballahack Wastes to explore Noble's hometown. As the winter set in, bandits lied, pillaged, and killed to find and make shelters for the rapidly approaching winter. But they were not the only terrors our brave survivors faced. The Beast. No one knows where he came from. Believed to have been mutated by radiation, he was one of the most frightening abominations of the wastes. As he slayed survivor after survivor, one intrepid adventurer decided to take down the beast by taking its hammer, and with all the creature's killing power and rage. Turns out it was a lot like Thor's hammer, just made out of duct tape. Without this weapon, the beast slunk back into the wastes and has not been seen since. A few years later, the dark constraints of nuclear winter lifted, and the survivors could once again venture out into the wilds. As the adventurers of Jolly Roger Airsoft trekked across the wastes, they decided they needed a place to settle, and thus, Lucky Ace's Casino was born.
That's crazy.
Built in an old ammo depot, the sanctuary became a predominant political force in the Wasteland. 5 traveling bands decided to set up a free and independent town, where free movement and trade were encouraged, and it quickly became an oasis in the chaos for survivors out in the wastes. After a ferocious battle between the residents of the central town and the sanctuary also emerged as a powerful military force. Its army then attacked and looted the town in retribution, and it is from that army that the new Ballahack Republic was formed. On the next day, the 5 tribes reformed the sanctuary into the new Ballahack Republic.
Well, I just said that. Wow!
And a platoon of rangers was sent out to help defeat new tribes and bandits that threatened the sanctuary. However, a new enemy soon loomed. The Reaper Syndicate, a band of mercenaries who fought valiantly in the first battle of Sanctuary, did not join the ranger platoon on its quest, and instead took over security of the new Ballahack Republic's borders, along with myself and a few squads of rangers that remained. However, it was revealed that the safety of the new republic was not at all their concern.
What about it?
Back to their war with us or whatever?
They probably are. Sure, cool.
Yeah. Were you still a part of the sanctuary, or are we just out?
Go.
Well, I got you. The man who shot me on tape was one of the Reapers. I am in fact very lucky to be alive along with my fellow Rangers. If Noble hadn't found me there, then I don't know what would have happened.
It's all Joe's fault.
The Rangers forced out of Sanctuary. The Reapers managed to kill the remaining 4 family heads, and then exile everybody else. What Rangers remained were now wanted men, and could never peacefully return to the sanctuary they once served. The Rangers went into hiding. Noble took the former president of the Republic, Zach, and went into hiding, and would later fight valiantly against the Black Line. Razor went on to become a renowned doctor, healing men and women of all allegiances. And Torch, Voodoo, Chocolate, and Smokes became wandering merchants, and made a small fortune out in the wastes. There was also the Black Line, or Lion. I never really did hear it very clearly. Once the Reapers controlled the Republic, they reverted it back to its original name, which incited old enemies. Before long, the town fell back into the hands of a band of brigands and mercenaries who had fought the sanctuary in the battles of the previous day. However, the Reapers were quick on their toes, and before long came to an agreement. The groups merged and began sweeping across the waste, killing and looting everything in sight. They called themselves the Black Line due to their leader's distinctive black clothing. But by the virtues of anarchy, even they would not last forever, and what few survivors remained bonded together and fought the Black Line for every inch, causing its men to desert, because the fun was now over. And now for the other notable figures of the waste. The man in the purple coat has gathered somewhat of a cult following over the years. Some call him a terrorist, others call him a hero. Whichever you prefer, all agree he is extremely dangerous. I personally have seen him publicly executed multiple times, yet he always seems to return, the same man, the same coat. Then there is the Phoenix. A bandit of many years, he is known around the waste for his distinctive fur attire. There is a lot of talk of assassins and empires preparing to hunt him, and I will give you a warning. You are not the first to try, and you will not be the last. He has a habit of making an example of those who try to kill him. Then there is the plight of my old home, the Sanctuary. Now run by the mysterious forces of Hydra and the Corporation, will they be able to return it to its former glory? And our old adversaries, the Reaper Syndicate. They have retreated to the shadows after the destruction of the Black Line and await their next opportunity to strike. Will they continue to be a major force in the battles ahead? And what of you, intrepid survivors? Will you make a name for yourself in this cold, dark world? Will you fight to aid your fellow man, or further your own ends?
Being all John Wayne and
Pillage and destroy, or defend and rebuild? The choice is yours, but remember, war never changes. Thank you, and good night.